Hello. I am Sunflower and Strawberry Spice, but you can call me Sunny, and I am so happy to have you here. Welcome or welcome back. Uh, Today I am here to talk about the WINX redesigns. The ones I promised months ago. The ones that I was like, yeah, don't worry, I should have them done really, really soon. And then I did 3 of them. And then I decided to just abandon the redesigns for months. It's been like 5 months. But it's okay, because I'm back on it now and I've been in crunch time so I could get this video out today. Hopefully this will be coming out on a Saturday. If it's not, I'm gonna be so freaking disappointed in myself. But nonetheless. So originally there was supposed to be speed paints of all the girls in the background, but as you can see, that is not the case. It is just a picture with some of the characters. And that's because I lost the speed paint footage of everybody except for Musa and Tekna, so I was just like, okay, this just isn't happening now, I guess. So instead you get the drawing that I also freaking crunched. Y'all, oh my gosh, I'm trying to edit, I'm trying to record, edit, draw all this BS in 3 days. Oh my god, if this gets out on time, I'm gonna be so proud of myself. Nonetheless, so obviously, first off, we're gonna talk about Bloom. So I'm gonna talk about the characters a little bit, and then I'm gonna talk about the actual story, because I actually did a little bit of a story rewrite, because Fate the Winx Saga was really bad, and so I was like, I want to write a more serious version of the Winx Club without making it absolutely terrible. If you actually want to go read it, it is on AO3. So, I'm not going to reiterate the whole story, nor am I going to read it here, but if you want to go check out, where these redesigns where they come and go from, it's on AO3. It's on AO3. That's all I'm going to say. But just a warning, some things, some characters, I did change them a lot. Some I did not change pretty much at all. So yeah, just a warning for that. So first off, obviously, we're gonna start with our main girl, Bloom. This is her. She's very fun. So for Bloom, I didn't really want to change much because I like her design personally. It's mainly her clothing style that I wanted to change. Because honestly, in the beginning of the show, Bloom is kind of shown, she's a teenager, and she's shown getting around on her bike, and so I was like, okay, but like, what if the bike was a skateboard? Because I think, skateboarding is really cool. I have friends who can do it, and I just think they're like the coolest thing ever, and I really want to learn, but I am very accident prone, so that might not happen, but it is a hope of mine. So I think I decided to go for a little bit more of a skater grunge. Is that what it's called? I'm stupid. I'm not up to date with anything. But that kind of aesthetic. And I think she's very into thrifting, probably because she's like doesn't cost that much money, and I don't think her parents were uber wealthy, because in the original, number one, they lived in an apartment, but also her mom owns a flower shop. Very fun job, but probably doesn't make the most money, and her father is supposedly a firefighter. I don't know how much money firefighters make, but I changed that in the rewrite, although her parents' jobs aren't really all that important to the plot, so also, I changed up her parents' appearances a little bit, but the only time that you're really going to see them is if I guess I do some fan art of her with her parents, which I haven't done so far, but nonetheless. But yeah, so her personality I kept mostly the same, except I made it more of a personality, because I noticed in the original she was very, very inconsistent with her personality. Sometimes she'd be really sweet and caring, and then other times she'd be very sassy and snippy, which might just be like, being a teenager, you're Most of them can be kind of all over the place. But I decided, oh my god, I can speak words. But I decided to give her a little bit more of a consistent one. Um, and yeah, I'll talk more about the story itself when and stuff when we get to the rewrite section of this video. And of course, all of the links to what times should be in the description. If it's not, I got tired. So next we're on to what I feel like amongst fans, at least as far as I've seen, I asked like a bunch of people I know who their favorite is, and everybody said Stella. So I don't know if that is the general consensus. You should totally tell me. Also, it's saying here that they're 16. No, they're supposed to be 15. I don't know why I put 16. It should be 15. I don't know why it says 16. I'm pretty sure I wrote in the story that it was 15. But, oh well. So here we have Stella. She has to be probably my favorite design, even though, like, the drawings you're seeing now are kind of the older version of her. I still absolutely adore them. I love the way Stella looks. I love her color palette. I love the way it went. So, as for Stella, I decided to go for I wanted to really, for some of these characters, I really wanted to start leaning into that they are aliens aspect, because in the original they come from different planets. They're aliens, yet they all look very, very human. And that was just kind of something that bugged me. So I was just like, okay, how can I change that? And I was just like, okay, I'm gonna make Stella. I'm really gonna lean into because her parents are supposed to be kind of like the sun and moon, but she's a light fairy, and so I was like, I really want to lean into that aspect. And so I was like, what's more sunny than being orange? So I turned her bright orange, and I gave her hair. I kept the pale yellow of her hair. I actually toned it down a little bit so that her skin and hair color wouldn't be very matchy, which was a problem that was arising because I originally wanted to do a yellow to keep her original hair color, but it just did not look good. And then her eyes, I'm so proud of myself for the eyes, because basically I was like, okay, her father is the sun, but her mother is the moon. And so the moon is very dark, very blue. At least that's what I think most people associate with the moon. But I was like, okay, so I want her to be this bright, sunny, yellow beam of light. And then I want her eyes to be like uber dark with like these shocks of blue. Like, I just thought that would be so fun, and just I don't know, I thought it would be cool. And if you're wondering, what are those symbols on her arms? That's a fantastic question that you just asked there, and very oddly specific, so that I could go on my tangent. Thank you. But they are basically these like markings. I feel like that sounds weird. Of her planet. Basically, they show off your parentage, and it's pretty much solely a light fairy thing. You get one for your father and one for your mother, typically. Sometimes that can change, but that is typically how it works. And then you have one for yourself. You get more as you get older, and you go through more accomplishments, and the royal family gets a special one, which is why there's the S on her shoulder, because that's you get a special one like that on your shoulder if you're royalty. I think I wrote that down, but I'm not sure. Also, I decided to change her last name to Helios, because I don't know if it's ever stated if she has I don't think anybody's last names are ever stated. I don't think. I could be wrong, but I decided to change it to Helios because I wanted to do a play on the sun, and I was like, who's better to use as the sun than the sun god, And I was just like, okay, Helios. I thought that would be a cool name. But yeah, she's supposed to be 15. I don't know why it says 16. That's not what it's supposed to be, but whatever. And yeah, I really like the way she came out. As for her sense of style, I definitely think you can't really see it in most of the pictures because she's in like uniform in one of them and then in a gown in the other. But she's definitely very bright pink, lots of bright pink, electric neon colors, very vibrant, very like, I don't know, maybe early 2000s Mean Girl. If you brought the early 2000s Mean Girl from Disney Channel into the modern day, that's about how she dresses, because I think she's very much so she's a very fashionable person. She's a very fashion forward person, and I would just like to note, the picture in the top right corner, is actually inspired by one of my friend's shirts. So thanks to my friend for getting me inspired with that. All right, so that is Stella. Next up, we have Flora. Flora, sweet Flora. She looks so short in. Okay, so as for Flora, so this is where I guess I almost said this is where I really start changing the designs after I made Stella orange. But Flora, in this picture, her legs are shown being normal legs, but I think I'm gonna change that and they're gonna be more hoof-like. Not hoof-like. Not like satyr-like. If you've seen my drawings of my character Syra, maybe I'll flash a picture on the screen, she's gonna have legs about like that, because I want her to look. So I tried to take their powers and the type of fairy they were into account, and I was thinking, Flora's a fairy of nature, of plants and stuff like that, and so I was like, how can I make her look naturey? So I decided to give her some kind of like animalistic features almost, with her doe ears, is that right? Her eyes, they're fully green, because I thought it would be cool if it was like, kind of like how you can only see like that part of an animal's eyes like at nighttime kind of thing. I wanted to make her like really bony, and I hope that came across. Also to show off different body types, like Stella's a little bit curvier, Flora's kind of like a twig, that kind of thing. But I wanted her. I also gave her these really sharp nails, and I don't know if you can, like I said, this drawing of her. They're not great, but she has very sharp. She's supposed to have very sharp nails, kind of like an animal, like to claw into the ground and stuff like that. And she's very very tall, like a tree. Because I was like, I want to go for like the tree vibe. It's also why I changed the color of her hair. I actually changed it to ebony brown. That is the color of ebony wood, color picked from ebony wood, because I don't know, her blonde hair in the original always kind of bugged me. I couldn't tell you why, but it was always just kind of off to me. I think it was because the color I don't know, but I was like, I really like the dark hair for her. I think the dark hair looks really really pretty on her. And I gave her some curls, because in the original, even Aisha, who had curly hair, didn't really have curls, and I don't know, like, I think Flora looks good with curls. But yeah, I gave her a cottagecore aesthetic. Obviously, that is the obvious answer, because it's Flora. She's our cottagecore queen. She's also, when I say she's tall, I mean, on her planet, the average height is about 6'8". Like, that's about the average height for women. And I think, I think probably men and women, because, like, I don't know. Yeah, but, like, because she's royalty, because, I am sticking with the princess thing for everybody, for no particular reason, but, Flora is royalty, so she'll be like, and like I said, the 6'8" is the average. Most people are usually in the 7-foot range, and Flora's gonna be even taller at the like end points of the 7 foot, like just barely making it of being like 8 feet tall at the end of the series, because we love tall women. Okay, we love our tall, friendly, nurturing women. She's a gentle giant, and I'm sorry, but that's one of my favorite tropes ever, and you're just gonna have to deal with it. I also gave her some cute little white freckles, again, to be kind of like deer-like. I don't know if I lean too heavy into the deer thing, but like, I don't know. I think it's cool. And maybe somebody can come up with some symbolism. Also, I don't know why I was like allergic to drawing shoes, because like when I did these redesigns, because like if I had a nickel for every time I decided not to draw the Winx girls in shoes, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice. But yeah, that's Flora. I love Flora. She was one of my favorites because I always wanted her to give me a big old hug. So next, we're on to the much newer redesigns, which I did 5 months after the original ones, which I did a couple days ago. So now we have Musa. Yes, very new structure for how things are going on. But this is Musa. I really didn't know what to do for Musa's redesign, because I was like, okay, I want to relate it to sound and music. Specifically, I decided to make her like more of like a sound fairy, because music isn't exactly something you find in nature, but I was like, how can you relate that to music? And I was like, more arms to play music, I guess. And my brain was like, yup, that sounds pretty solid to me. So I ended up giving her more arms and actually going for a bit of like a bug beetle effect. I know the scales look really bad. The next time I draw her, I swear I will draw better scales for y'all. Don't worry. I almost gave her wings, but then that little piece at the back of my brain was like, stop. You are not making more characters based off of moths, because I know that's where it would have gone. I know I would have ended up basing her off a moth, because my little rat brain loves moths. I love moths. Like, if you've seen my character Kai, if you've seen my character Sammy, and if you've seen my character Chimera, who I guess isn't technically a moth, nonetheless, I love moths. I love butterflies. I love bugs. I like looking at them, at least. I don't like them being anywhere near me, but I like looking at them. You would know, I have multiple character designs based off of moths, and I didn't need another one. So instead, Musa just got the 4-arm treatment. I almost gave her 6, but I was like, feeling lazy, I'm going 4. Maybe she can actually grow more arms if she wants to. I don't know, maybe I can implement that, but for now, and yeah, don't worry, next time I draw her, I will give her her lovely ponytails. But I was just like, I wanted to do a kind of cute style, and I'm realizing it's the same as Stella's in one of her pictures, but it's fine. Her boots were really fun to draw. Honestly, Musa is the one that I'm probably the most proud of, because I love, love, love her outfit. I don't like the color I chose for the top, but other than that, it's fine. I like it. It's very fun. And last but not least, we have Tekna. I changed them the most out of everybody. This is the biggest, wildest change. I'm going to tell you why before I show you them. Because they're the fairy of technology, but technology isn't really found in nature. Like, that's not really how things work. So I decided that I would make them an energy / metal fairy, because I thought that would make more sense, because those are 2 things that are found in nature. And so I actually decided, okay, if she's gonna be like an energy / electricity fairy, then I'm gonna make them made of metal, which conducts, electricity. So it comes across really bad in the drawing, and I really don't like how it looks. But I decided to make them made of bronze. They are made of bronze and silver. Their hair is silver, their skin is bronze, and their eyes are supposed to be kind of like a mix of the 2. And I made them kind of dark, because I thought that would be, I thought it would be cool. I don't know. But Tekna's original design, I was never really a big fan of. I like especially the fairy, the fairy form. I couldn't stand Tekna's fairy form. It was, especially her original, it was it was really bad. I like the fact that they tried to do something different than the other girls, but it just didn't look good. Honestly, Techno was kind of meh design for me in the original. I liked their hair. I liked their voice, but I don't know, their outfit just didn't seem very them, honestly. Uh, and so I decided to change that in mine. I actually kept their outfit very similar to their common outfit, but I imagine they don't dress up that much. I like to imagine they prefer like hoodies, and I don't know if I'm the only one who is this way, but I really like jeans. I like the feel of jeans. I think they're comfy. It's a texture thing for me, and I don't know. I really like it, and I imagine that Techno likes it too. I think they really like jeans. Um, because in the original, I've had a lot of fans. Like I've gone through it, and a lot of fans have, specifically neurodivergent fans, be like, "Oh, hey, I relate to Techno a lot," you know, and I was just like, "Oh, that's really cool." And a lot of people, and they're very uh, accidentally queer coded, Um, so I was just like, all right, then let's make it official. Um, and so honestly, I agree with the neurodivergent thing. I mean, um, they're not very good with social cues. That's shown. They say whatever they want. Um, that kind of thing. And obviously, that's not, people without neurodivergence can do that kind of stuff. But you know what I mean. I'm just trying to make a point. Um, and just I've seen a lot of neurodivergent people relate to Techno, but fun fact, I actually think Stella is also just like a little neurodivergent because she's kind of on the opposite end of the spectrum. Um, the spectrum of neurodivergence, not a specific spectrum, but you know, um, because she also has a tendency to just say whatever she wants. Very bad with she's very bad with social cues. Like when people are like obviously glaring and getting upset with her, she's like, what, and she doesn't seem to understand, which is played for comedy, but like, it's there in the story. um she also, instead of being, completely like no emotions, instead she's very open with her emotions, kind of like I was. She says and does, like, acts like however she feels. And I don't know, I just thought I'd slide that in there. Anyway, so that is the end of the redesign portion, I suppose. So real quick, I'm gonna speed run telling y'all about I'm gonna speed run telling y'all about the actual story itself, which I'm just gonna very quick. So, Fate the Wing Saga was really bad, and I really didn't like how it handled pretty much anything, because it took this familiar setting and just made it Riverdale, and it was really upsetting because I loved Winx as a kid, and so I was just like, okay, can a like more intense rewrite be done without making it bad, right? Like, how can we do it? And I think I can. Am I the best writer in the world? Absolutely not. I never claimed to be, but I wanted to at least try. Um, and so in this rewrite, Bloom's parents are still very kind, sweet people, because guess what? A bunch of I don't understand why they made Bloom's parents like mean and stuff in the Wing Saga, because there were so many other characters that actually canonically had parental issues. Like Sky has parental issues. Um Stella, um Musa doesn't have like parental issues. Well, she does have parental issues, but it's because her mother passed away. Tekna, I don't remember anything ever being said about their parents, so I don't know. Flora, again, nothing said about her parents, I don't think. Um, Honestly, another problem with the original show, was it followed Bloom way too much, and some of the characters, despite being around for a really long time, we didn't know much about, which was very disappointing. Sorry, I'm like yawning. Oops. I'm too lazy to cut that out. But yeah, so for this rewrite, Bloom is going to stay, very close to her parents. But I feel like, okay, so they get into Althea. I don't know how to explain the world I'm rewriting. Basically, I'm going to describe the plot I'm rewriting. Basically, instead of the plot, honestly, the plot was kind of all over the place. I don't know what it was. Sometimes it was wanting to do one thing and sometimes it was trying to do another. I decided to try and make it a little bit more straightforward with a specific plot about the Daphne Dreams thing. I decided to bring that back. And yes, I did rewatch I rewatched a good chunk of the show for this. God, a lot of filler. You never know what is filler and what is not. Anyway, but they're basically the Dark Lord dude is definitely still going to be a part of the story, but the bringing back of Domino is going to be a more major part of the story. Also, getting their Enchantix forms, their standard fairy forms are cool, but in this world I've rewritten, getting your Enchantix, getting your Magics, are all very, very big achievements. Like, you have achieved this form, you're getting like a ceremony kind of achievement. And it's very rare that people get them in school, but they are going to get them in school. And so people are just like, this is a very big, shocking thing. So that is going to happen. Currently there are 6-7 chapters up on AO3. And we're just about to get into the major lore heavy stuff in chapter 7. So yeah. Also, sorry if my voice sounds weird. It's because I'm recording in a different space right now, and I'm also tired, so, but, yeah, I don't want to spoil all of the story, but basically my intent was to kind of just make, a darker version of the WINX where, people can die, people, like, they really go out, like, because, like, the original WINX was actually, it was pretty dark in places, and, like, Riven being mind-controlled in the original, and keeping that plot point, by the way. I guess I think I just spoiled something. Yeah, I need to stop talking. Basically, if you want to know more about this rewrite, you should just go read it, because, honestly, I can't really sum it up here unless I'm going to spoil the entire thing, which maybe in the next video I'll do that, because I think I'm gonna make a whole rant about how much I disliked Fate the WINX Saga, because it really bugged me. Anyway, real quick, I'm gonna talk about the little drawings I did for this. Can I just say I loved Stella's outfit for every single one of these, and I don't know what is up with me giving her that specific type of outfit, but it's fun. Honestly, I was getting so tired, and you can tell. That Sky's design, right next to the name Sky, that's him. I haven't, oh yeah, one thing I want to address. You're probably wondering, hey, why isn't Aisha here? Are you just gonna redesign her later? Well, I am, but there's a reason that she isn't with the fairies. And that's because Aisha's gonna be a specialist. I know, you're probably like, huh? And rightfully so. But in the original, Aisha was very much so the tomboyish one, if I remember correctly, even though Musa was already the tomboyish one, and so was kind of Bloom, but Aisha, she rode motorcycles, she did fancy stuff, she was kind of one of the guys, and I was like, well, what if she just was one of the guys? What if we just made her a specialist? Because in this world, I have decided that the gender of the person doesn't matter. You can be a fairy no matter your gender, and if you're not a fairy but you still want to follow like the more heroic path in life, you can go and become a specialist, which is typically fairies usually get in teams, and they usually have specialists on those teams because, you know, sometimes magic needs a little bit of weaponry help. So yeah, Aisha is actually going to be a specialist. She's gonna come in a little later in the story, but she is gonna be there. She is gonna be there. So yeah, I think that's it. I think that's all I have to say. I hope you have a fantastic day or night. Follow me on all this. I did these speed paints live. If you wanna, you should follow me on all the stuff that you're gonna see in the end card. Having said that, I hope you have a fantastic day and or night or whenever you're seeing this. And I hope to see you in the next one. Subscribe and bye-bye!